Time to see what the Wizards are up to.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to our weekly stream. Super excited to be here. I think it's going to be pretty quick this week. You know, we never know. It
That's what we said last week.
Depends how many questions y'all bring. It's always more interesting when we have questions. Let's see. We're going to share a few spoiler cards because we kind of started a trend of doing that. And we still have a lot that we haven't shared yet for Star Realms High Alert. And Rob will give an update on some of our streaming things. And then we also got a delivery this week. We have a few samples to share, which is exciting. So let's move on to these cards. So I am a huge blob fan. I can never resist buying blob cards. Doesn't matter if they're good for me or not. So I might focus on sharing mostly blob cards when I get to pick. So it's going to be two different dual faction blob, where blob is one of the factions. And this is Bioform Kaye. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Kaye Circasalo. He won RopeCon in Finland, which is a RPG show in Finland. And some of our fans really wanted to run a Legend series there. I thought it was really cool because we had not run one in that part of the world. So he made his way into the game, and this really cool bio mods here. He looks awesome. And this is similar to some of the cards we saw last week, a dual faction card as well. And
yeah, these guys are pretty powerful because when you buy them, you get that dual faction ally trigger, so you can trigger your allies from both Star Empire and Blob, and then later you can sack it, or the same turn if you want to get up to double ally level, sack it to get those ally abilities again and those cool powers.
And then I have yet another bio-modified person here. This is Bioform Freeman. He won one of our Legend series at DragonCon, which is an awesome convention on the East Coast, which I've always wanted to go to, but it always like coincides with other things that are happening. But anyways, again, this is only one cost, which is great. And you get the dual faction. And again, like if you want, you can scrap it later. I love this art. I love anyone. If I were ever to be put on a Star Realms card, I'm just saying if I was, I definitely would want to be part blob. So I'm not saying I ever will be, but these guys, I think they're really lucky that they got that. And I think it's awesome that we've had conventions at a lot of different places. But this year, it's also really nice that we're doing the digital Legend series. So our next ones will be at the end of October. So if you're interested in getting on a card, that would be your next.
Yes. So you don't have to travel anywhere. You can play from your living room on your iPad or on your computer or whatever. You can play Star Realms in these tournaments.
That means I could go play in some other people's tournaments. Like usually I can never play in other tournaments because we're running our booth.
Yeah.
Although we're gonna start doing more demos and stuff at the digital convention, so I might be working a virtual booth at these going forward. So let's see. We have a couple of cards that Rob's going to share, which are new cards.
So we've got the Star Realms High Alert set coming to Kickstarter backers, of course, and then to stores. So one of the packs that we have is Tech, and Tech is a new card type. Tech cards, when you buy them, they're like heroes. They don't go into your deck. They go directly into play. But Tech, you get to use once per turn for the rest of the game. So it's just something your Star Empire has, your Star Realm has figured out how to do. So for example, with the industrial upgrade here, you pay 5 for it, and it goes onto your side of the table. And then once per turn, you're allowed to pay 3 trade to draw a card. So this obviously can be incredibly powerful in the late game. This is one of those very exciting late game tech cards. And of course, there's techs of all different costs. Some of them can be more exciting in the earlier to mid game. Some of them are super powerful in the late game. This is this one of my favorite pieces of late game tech. Later on in the game, getting the ability to spend trade to to draw cards immediately, that can be a real game breaker.
So hello, I see a lot of people that we know joining. So that's awesome, guys. Katie, you're well. Peter's on. I need to pop this comment up. This is like some brilliant quarantine words of wisdom. I was unwrapping a Jolly Rancher and I dropped it into my sandal. Normally you have 3 seconds, 5 if you're desperate, but my feet have been extra crispy this quarantine season. So it sounds like he left it in there for the last 6 months, he or she. So I had to let it go. There's a little Frozen reference in there. Okay. All right. Sorry. I found that really amusing. And just by the way, Adam, who is awesome on our team, wanted to point out that was the first strike.
Yes.
Pack
So that one's
yeah.
So that's First Strike is the Kickstarter exclusive high alert pack. So that one is a card that will come in the First Strike pack, which is Kickstarter exclusive. So you can either get it through, if you didn't back the Kickstarter it came from, any future Kickstarter for Star Realms, you can back and get the First Strike pack as a add-on. So the Kickstarter exclusives are available on our future Kickstarters as well. And of course, eventually
can still lay back Sorcerer Endbringer.
Yeah, still lay back Sorcerer Endbringer and get that out. And of course, eventually, like with all our Kickstarter exclusives, alternate art versions will eventually find their way into packs that'll be available in retail. But for quite a while, they're only available through the Kickstarter or through future Kickstarters as a add-on.
And what's the recommended approach to know you already used a tech card?
So you can. So for me, I just remember for example, bases have abilities so you can use once per turn, and I use a base and I just remember it. However, if you want, you can tilt the card slightly to remember, or move it from one side of the table to the other. But for me, I just remember it. But yeah, tilting the card's pretty easy.
Can you get First Strike if you're a late backer for Deluxe Nova Collection?
Yes, Kickstarter. Actually, the Deluxe Nova Collection. Actually, that's a Debbie question.
So we'll have an answer for you guys in the next couple weeks. We need to decide what we want to include as add-ons for that one.
Yeah. So that's a
usually
Kickstarter.
We would do Kickstarter exclusive items. So likely yes.
Yeah, I almost jumped the gun on the.
Usually you say yeah, and then I just have to make it happen. So that might happen. We had this question actually last week, but we didn't end up. It came outside of the stream, and I forgot to ask you. Will we see an equivalent to Ancestry Pack for Star Realms?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Orcs in space. That'd actually be pretty cool.
So we don't have anything like that currently in the works, but it's it's a neat idea.
Okay. I bought let me go to the game. Oh yeah. So are the large storage boxes the same? And I'm assuming he said big storage box. So he or she, sorry. All the Universal, I'm calling it Universal. They have different names, but all the large ones are the same.
Yeah. So basically, the original printing of the Star Realms one, we had very thick interior walls to try and get up to the sturdiness we needed. But then in the Hero Realms one, because we had the oversized cards, we ended up experimenting with a cross beam in the middle, which added a lot to. And this is the epic one, but this is the model that we use for all of them. So basically, it's got this cross beam right here, which adds a lot of stability to the box. So they all use that design. So these rows are long enough that you could store a playmat in if you want. The oversized cards and such can fit into this section here. and there's plenty of room for cards, and they hold cards with or without sleeves. So the reprint of the Star Realms, which is coming, because I know the Star Realms universal storage boxes are out of stock in most places, so we're reprinting that. The Epic one that's coming, and the Hero Realms one, which Deb has here.
I just want to show people in case they haven't seen them. I love the art on this one. All the boxes are like the materials, like kind of matte, but like the finish is still really beautiful. They just feel super high quality.
And and here is the Star Realms one. And this is actually a sample of the reprint. So it's got the interior with the cross beam there. So it's slightly, the exterior of the box is a little bit smaller because that cross beam replaced the extra thick, the triple thick interior walls, and to get that same stability. But now it's got a area for those oversized cards like the ones that come in Star Realms Frontiers. So yeah, those are pretty awesome. We got reprints coming of the Star Realms one, the Hero Realms one we just got in stock recently. Is that in retail currently? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So that one should be available through your local game store. And then we have, and of course we have the Epic one coming. So,
and if your game store doesn't have them, they can order them through just distribution. And so, if you ask for a specific item like that, they can get that for you. And we are carried with all the major distributors. I know some distributors are moving a little bit, not having everything right, on the dates when we say. So, when we announce, sometimes things aren't yet in shops, but you can order through distribution. It is available worldwide. Also, I'll just put a plug in for the Lost Village is also available worldwide. The new Journeys packs, a new Ancestry pack that we mentioned, which allows you to play as a different race as well. So you pick your character and you pick your race, which is really cool. So those are all available, and some really cool campaign playmats. I actually really want to play the campaign with the Ancestry packs, Rob.
Yes.
And live stream it. Someone was asking on the Dice Tower group today about cooperative games, and I was like, I really like to play Hero Realms with my husband, but we need to again. So anyways,
Lux 16 is asking about High Alert Divider. So yes, we have a divider pack for the High Alert card. So when we make these boxes, the storage boxes have these awesome plastic dividers, for the various sets, and obviously they're made with the sets that are available at the time they're produced. But when we make future sets, we'll make divider packs for those available. I believe that I think that has an MSRP of $4.99. It'll be coming out around the same time as the High Alert packs. So if you've got the storage box and you need the dividers, you can go ahead and order those. Now that's not the kind of thing that every store is going to carry, so you might have to special order that from your store, or order it from the as an add-on to one of our Kickstarters, or from our online store.
Rob, you skipped over a question, I see.
Oh yes.
We get this question a lot. Any updates on the Hero Realms app?
So work continues on the Hero Realms app. We are.
Can you say a little bit about it? Just a little bit, I guess.
All right.
Like
I guess we're spoiling some Hero Realms app.
No, I'm not going to spoil anything, but we started doing some very early play testing, which has been really exciting.
So the digital team has been at work on this for quite a while, actually, and we have a not ready for the public, playable versions that
it's
that
not ready at all.
So basically, we'll do testing and be like, okay, yeah, this these things are good. Let's change these visuals. Oh, this card, when I click on it, just a black box comes up. That's not good, So basically, it's not publicly ready yet, but we've been doing a lot of work on it, and not only just the gameplay, but also structural stuff, how the game's going to work. It's important to us that it provides a different play experience than the Star Realms app. We don't want it to be exactly the same. There'll be a lot of familiarity, so you'll be able to pick it up very quickly if you're a fan of the Star Realms app. But we've got some cool stuff from in the pipeline for that. But don't get too excited because this digital stuff takes quite a while, so it'll be a while before it's
due to be finished soon. No, not due to be finished soon. That's
Yes.
why he didn't want me to say that we even started playing it.
Yeah. So
when he says a few things are broken, like a lot of things are broken.
Yes.
Very, very early stage. So
yeah, and we're still doing the structural stuff on like how the campaigns will work and all that sort of thing. So so the digital team is hard at work, but basically it's unfortunately it's a very long runway on the stuff. So it'll take a bit before it's ready for the public to even in the alpha
so
version.
we don't yet. Andrew and Ashton were interested, and I'm sure other people as well in play testing. So we don't yet. It's going to be a while because we're in the very early stages, but eventually we'll definitely have the opportunity for people to help us fix bugs. Right now it's very obvious to anyone. So anyway, okay, let me go back. I think I didn't finish your spoilers, Rob. I think we had one more. We didn't cover this card yet, did we?
No.
Cruiser.
Super cool Star Empire card here. Hits like a truck. I like this one. Yeah, just smashing hard amount of combat. And amazing if you can get to that to the double ally level. So for a 6 cost ship, obviously hitting 4/8 is a really hard hit, but you'd expect a little more gas out of a ship of this cost level, and that gas comes in the form of the ally and double ally ability. If you've got an ally, you've got incredible hard hit plus draw card. You get that double ally. 2 card draws on a single ship is a very hard thing to achieve in Star Realms. So this is a super powerful ship. Really, very, very strong.
So Andrew just commented that he lost his connection to the stream. We don't yet have alpha or beta opportunities for the Hero Realms app.
Yeah,
it's still definitely in early alpha, but eventually we will. So
it's not even really alpha yet. We're just internal, fully internal on that. Yeah.
All right, Rob, can you tell us what's going on? How was the community challenge? Did anyone beat you?
So we have we've got we're taking the opportunity because we can't go to conventions. We're playing virtually online with the community. In Epic, we have tournaments that are built into the software. That's we're going to be porting that over to Star Realms. That's one of the other things the digital team is working on. But we did a community challenge event last week on Friday, and I went undefeated in that one. CJ won. CJ did take a loss. I can't remember who beat CJ down, but someone got the bragging rights for smashing CJ. But we had a lot of fun doing that. CJ was actually streaming his game, so you could you can watch CJ play. So we're going to do another one of those this coming Monday, September 7th at 7 p.m. It's free to sign up. I'll be playing. CJ will be playing. A good chance Darwin will be playing. We're going to have various other members of the WWG staff will be on there battling. And it's draft, so super easy to play, really fun. So you get to do heads up draft versus somebody, and then and then battle them. And each round you win, you get a foil card, and it's absolutely free. And we'll be streaming. So if you're an Epic player or you want to try Epic out, come see us battling on Monday at 7 p.m. And
if you're playing CJ, go over to the Twitch channel. You can see what he has in his hand. Hey, you gotta get something.
You gotta get an edge somehow.
Company,
yeah. And we're also we also did a Star Realms thing. last week.
Streaming.
So I streamed Star Realms last week. I got this time I got beaten down a couple times. It was, good games. You can. I'll be streaming Star Realms live. You can challenge me to a 48-hour game in the app. You pick whatever sets you want. I'll try and do a better job of picking challenges in the order they came in this time. I was sort of being a little random on the last ones, but tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'll be streaming Star Realms. You can challenge me, play games, and if you beat me while we're on stream, then you win credits. So you can get 100 credits for beating me down. So both the pleasure of smashing me and credits for your Star Realms collection, so you can buy some foil cards or play some extra arena matches.
Yeah, I think maybe people can like have them comment in Twitch, so you can kind of look chronologically when they challenge you.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm not quite sure, or we can troubleshoot and figure out how the challenges.
I'll also try and get my sound to work properly. I may not be the most technically advanced streamer.
I came in, I'm like, Rob, they can't see the game. Someone's like, I hear Debbie.
I may. Yeah.
Luckily, I'm in the other room checking to make sure it's all working okay on my phone.
I'll get there.
You did great. You have a really good setup now.
Yeah.
We even got a green screen going.
Yeah. So, but if I screw something up, you can't hear or see. But if you're playing me in the app, you can obviously see your game on your device, so you'll be good. Oh man.
Yeah, and maybe you'll be streaming more. And we've also talked with Darren about doing more streaming. Yeah. So if you haven't yet subscribed to the Twitch channel, definitely check it out. Let's take a look and see if we have any comments before we jump into the samples. I'll have this comment. Probably have a better chance of beating you in Star Realms than Epic. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, Epic is definitely a more skill-based game. Super, super awesome when you're playing somebody at your skill level. If your opponent's way better than you in Epic, you're probably going to have a hard time winning. But there's
not Ben. You played him.
Yeah, and I'm certainly not the best Epic player out there. There are some people who've smashed me on a fairly regular basis. So
All right, so we have samples to move on.
Oh yeah, so
we don't have any other questions. I don't think. Let's see. Oh. So Adam's asking if we can see your side of things for the next community challenge.
Yeah, we can probably. We've got the streaming set up, so we can. We might do some alternating back and forth between whose games we're looking at. Certainly a possibility. So jumping into samples.
Yes.
Okay, so with the production process, there's a lot of back and forth with the printer trying to get things just right. So as an example, we got score dials previously, which were super cool, but there were some things that we weren't happy with. So I'm not sure how much of this you can see, but there was a little bit of wiggle in, as you can sort of see at the top here, a little bit of wiggle in the construction, and the numbers could go a little bit side to side, and the centering wasn't the way we wanted it. So we basically gave all that feedback to the printer, and then we got a new sample here. And this one does not wiggle at all. When I move it, it's nice and firm. These don't move back and forth. And and as you can see, the centering on the numbers is improved. So it feels like when you're looking at these, when you first look at this, and this is like, okay, you got a sample of the same thing again. But this is the kind of iterative process that it takes to make it so when you get the final product, it looks nice. So we've got so the new round of samples was all those little improvements to these. Now we have a couple more little tiny tweaks that we're going to be doing. We want to make it such that, like, for example, when the score gets to 99 on one side, when you flip it over, it's at a straight 100 on the back. I'm looking at changing the font on the ones because these ones are centered based on the sort of overall space of it, but because it has that little overhang, it makes it look like it's justified off to one side. So we're probably going to get rid of that. So little, further minor tweaks, but basically at this stage, we are happy with the overall feel and construction, and like the dials are nice and firm. The whole thing has a nice solid feel to it, whereas the first ones looked cool. We could see, there's a lot of good stuff here, but like with the wiggle and such, that wasn't going to fly. So we had to do additional rounds. So that's an example of the actual product. Then there's also packaging issues. So for example, we had the dual set come in the last round of samples, and the cards look great. It's awesome. However, we have it set. If you're a Kickstarter back, you might have seen the player guide and stuff online. We have it set up so that the first time you play, we've got decks set up to be ready to go. But they had all the cards packaged together, as opposed to having it so you've got the individual decks packaged with the instruction card on the top, and then your tokens and stuff separately. So just packaging corrections, like, okay, the cards are good, printer, but we need to make sure you get the packaging correct, and so those are the types of iterations that we do with printers.
I don't know, why can't the printer see that wiggle, and why do they have to send it to us?
That
very good question.
That is an excellent question. So a lot of the stuff you're catching is things like, okay, the colors, the color's not right, or maybe we screwed up when we sent them a file and the cost on the card is wrong, or those sorts of things. So it's like one last check for our stuff. But sometimes like there's just issues where we might be more demanding than other people. Like, and a lot of times when we say we want this nicer, we want this, they'll be like, oh, well, we can do that, but it will cost this much extra because we have to create a new die and we have to redo stuff. And we're like, okay, fine, like that's add that in. But sometimes those kinds of improvements come with costs attached, and not everybody would be like, yes, go for that. So it's one thing to say, hey, just make it awesome, and we do all the printers that, but yeah, I mean, sometimes you get the samples and not so awesome, and you have to do some tweaks. So why? I don't know. That's just how it works.
We had a good question here from Luke. I'll pop it up here. One of the reasons why I popped the comments up is some of you are watching on YouTube, and some are watching on Twitch, and some are watching on Facebook, so you can't see each other's comments, but I can see them all. Luke asked, who is it who designs the weekly arena in Star Realms, and do you get much of an input? I'm not sure if he's asking if we get an input or if everyone else could have an input. I mean, we'll talk to, I think Darwin's primarily doing it.
Darwin, Darwin, the lead designer for Star Realms, has been handling the arena formats. So initially, when Arena first came out, it was Darwin and I together, sort of working on, sometimes we create, and Jay, so basically we'd be working on all that together. At this point, Darwin is independently, doing the arena setups. So basically, if the community has things that they'd love to see, by all means, we would love suggestions.
I mean, after this, I can post a post in the community page and just ask for suggestions.
Yeah.
We can't promise that we'll do them. So some things are easier to do than others.
Yeah. And sometimes an arena week will just be taking existing mechanics that we've used before and mixing them around different sets, or that sort of thing. Very easy to do. Or if there's one that you really loved, I'd love to see this particular arena format come back. That's pretty easy. Sometimes we come up with mechanically new things that we want to do in arena, and then the digital team obviously has to program it in. We have to test it, make sure it works, functions properly. And every once in a blue moon, one of those slips through, and you'll have an arena where we started and it doesn't work properly, and we restart the arena week. But obviously we try and avoid that with the testing. But
I think Darren wouldn't be fine.
With that just make his life easier if he got if he got suggestions from you guys. That'd be great. So yes, love to hear your suggestions.
Yeah, I'll post in the community page after this, and I'll make sure Darren has a chance to look through that. And like I said, I can't promise that he'll use any of them, but I think he probably will, and feedback would be really fun and helpful.
Yeah, obviously we want arenas that everybody enjoys. And one of the things we look at is how many arena games were played. So we'll look at the data and be like, okay, this week had way less playthroughs. Obviously people weren't having fun with it. This week had way more playthroughs. People clearly like that format. And we're well aware that some of the arena formats are not fair in that, basically sometimes when we make these crazy changes to arena, certain cards are just better than their cost would indicate. But it's that kind of thing is okay, because arena just lasts for the 1 week, and basically you can figure out, wow, this week this particular card is super crazy good. Great if you can figure that out quickly, snatch it up when it comes up in the in the row. If both of you have figured it out, then you get a little bit of that excitement when a cool, powerful card hits the row.
I don't know. Did you have anything else you wanted to?
That's my stuff.
Sure
yeah.
Any other questions? The final call. We usually always get at least one. If anyone has a question, we're going to be wrapping up soon. Seems like we're good. And if there's any topics that you'd like to see covered, there is a question, but I'll get to that next. Yeah. If there's any topics you'd like to see covered in this, if you're interested in how does art direction work, or how does this work, or how the arena work, that was a great question. How do we design those? If you ask us ahead of time, we can even bring someone from the team to come and talk about something, because I know how to do that now. That's how sophisticated I am in live streaming. I can bring on a guest.
Debbie is the technical expert here.
So if there's a topic you want to see us cover, in a future one, and go into a little more detail, we can. Okay, Andrew has a question here. Command decks in the app and/or new additional paper command decks for Star Realms.
Okay, so command decks in the app are coming. This something that it's one of the many things on the digital team's plate, so they are in progress, we currently do not have any additional command decks in the pipeline for Star Realms, but it's something that's certainly a possibility for down the road.
All right, so I think that's all for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining,
guys.
And we will see you next Tuesday. Goodbye.